Hi everyone. Interesting again. I still seem to have lost the event creation factor and where it shows up and where it doesn't. Not 100% sure even where this is showing up. So I'm just going to pop across to my phone. It's showing up that I'm in Ros Boundy, my profile, definitely. It's going live there. 5 foot rope TV, not 100% sure. I thought I created an event. It looks like I didn't, not successfully. So anyway, let me see. Is it going to the event or not? I'm just going to have a quick look. I think I've got to search. This is where I'm no good at doing phone stuff. And I typed the wrong thing. 5 foot rope T. Oh, God. FIVE. You would think that I would be knowledgeable on all this. I've been doing live streams for over 6 years, 7 years, 8 years probably. It's saying it's live there. Let's have a look. Definitely saying so. I'm supposed to switch, which I won't. Not from there. So, okay. Yep, look. It's looking like I am, so I'll close that. Confirmed. It's lovely to see you all here, whether you are live with me or watching in replay. If you are watching in replay, certainly do the hashtag replay, and I can certainly comment as I'm coming back into this once we're finished. But we're here just to have another look at some of the ways, well, at the way that I'm doing at the moment. This is episode 5 of just showing a little bit of what is the Boomer Press website. Not set up. Oh gosh. How the heck I've managed to do all this, I don't know. It probably just gets to being at that point where I just go for it, and I'm going to do the share screen factor in a minute of the website. Let's have a look, see if I can manage that okay. And here we go, and this is before I actually get into what we're doing fully. Now, you can hear me, you can't see me. I gather you can't see me. One day I'll get that pop-up happening properly. You can see I'm on the Boomer Press Memoir page. And I'm just going to show you briefly through this particular page of the website. What I really would love to do is continue onward in my own journey of writing my memoir. And that is partly why I decided to do the Boomer Press and setting up a business that helps others do this, as I am learning how to do memoir as well. So it is more than just being a website. It is going to build into being a bit of the hub for where you can come in as a member online that you yourself can sign into a community area. I haven't quite got that set up yet, but certainly come in and have a look at what we've got here for helping you to actually get some ideas and join in with others to be able to share even some of those small stories or ways of getting past those types of areas where you feel it's just too hard and you need a bit of a leg up. It's that type of thing that I'm planning on putting into place for this space. Okay, and here we are with you can inquire now to preserve your family's memories. It is a form, I think. I can I just drop across to that? Yeah, you click on that and it goes where? Does it show up where it goes? Yes, it does. And I'm pretty sure and it's an easy form to fill out. Just put your name, your email, and certainly tick on those conditions that are there, because I don't spam. I certainly don't send out stuff that's not relevant at all. But certainly you can click on that and send that form through. Now, I think I can drop back, yes. And when you get to what other question, and that's past the questions that I've already put in here, as far as the frequently asked questions and things like that. So if there's any other ideas that you would like to actually have included in this website, hop over and just put that as part of what you would suggest, making suggestions, almost like that, the old-fashioned suggestion box that used to be in businesses. It'd be quite lovely if you could pop in ideas that you'd like to see in something that is to help you write and do further activities that's going to bring it further closer to mind of how to and to get those steps taken to writing what is your memoir, or other types of books as well. But today I wanted to just have a little bit of that emphasis on memoir and writing your own stories and putting them together, because these Monday and Thursday sessions are the part of what I'm doing for that, as the emphasis on memoir. So I'm going to show you again with a screen share the tool that I'm using and encouraging you to use something similar. It does not have to be this box of cards. I'll switch it around so that we can see it more closely, because for some of you, you have already popped in and had a look at these. And Lainey, you're going to get into your set that's next year, and that's wonderful. Every step we can take that's bringing us a bit closer to gathering and collating the information is a great step to take. So it is the Life Story deck of cards. It's an interview kit, okay? We have opened it before. I'm going to put it there so that we can see the full kit, and it's like this. We start with the early life, and in the end we all become, yes, that's right, in the end we'll all become stories, our life story. So I'm going to leave that there like that. And here we are, we're dividing this particular deck. Now, remember last time on Monday, I was splitting these cards just as they are, so that I'm not going to actually shuffle them, so that we'll see what the next set 3 questions are that we're going to be asking for today. If you get your notepad and pen, and for those that may have already put something together in answers, it would be lovely to see what you might have already written. And I know we've already come this far, so it's about 4 sets of questions it should be, because 2, 3, 4, and the first set I did myself. Okay, so what we have here for today's is the questions around early life. It's a simple statement question, an option to be able to bring to yourself, to your mind, the description, building that sort of thing that is going to help you to really hone in on describing. Say, it says describe your mother, but it's doing it, it possibly is going to be able to get you to think past what is just a, she was 5'6.5" with dark hair, sort of straight, and I do remember Mum putting in curlers and rollers and those types of things back in her day of when, those first memories that I have as far as Mum goes. Describe your mother. So in those early days, what I had from memories of Mum, it certainly was that very busy woman. Now, are we going to describe our mums as the activities they did rather than the do? What do we mean by describe your mother? Is it going to be that is the physical appearance? Like my mum was 5'6.5" for most of her adult life, and she did have a more, good farming build, good stock, solid figure, with lovely. I remember her arms, the hugging arms, and beautiful face, round face. How do we describe our mum? I do remember the hair, the curlers in the hair, and there was those weird old-fashioned, the really big hair dryer things that they'd put on their heads, that blew up like a bag type of thing that hugged it, with a little dial on it on the side. I remember Mum using that, but that's not describing my mother. It's actually harder to do than you really think. And hi, Janelle. Lovely to see you here. So how would you describe your mum, Janelle? It's I'm actually finding it a bit difficult. I do know she was 5'6.5", that she was a solid build, lovely. I do describe my mum as a beautiful woman. But it wasn't in the sense that she was a model material or anything like that. She was just a beautiful woman. And the heart of generosity and hospitality. And Mum could cook like you wouldn't believe. That there was just so many delicious meals in those days. And then look, the style of cooking was the meat and 3 veg of that era, and having good quantities of good quality, mostly fresh cooked food. There wasn't the freezer supermarket like we have it now. It was mostly a lot of what you collected from your own garden and the fruits of your labour, so to speak. And it was a wonderful experience growing up on a farm, being able to eat so well, being able to really know where your food came from. And that's still not describing my mother, is it? But you get the idea of that loving energy and sharing with community, because our family was a good church-going. Dad was as a lay preacher, and Mum as the supporting wife of that era type husband-wife. Well, it was an era, wasn't it? Almost. You look at what we've got these days, and it's so totally changed from back then. And I'm trying, describe your mother. Put it into action and try it for yourself. The first of all, do that absolute physical description. I can remember Mum would wear dresses most of the time. Even though we were on a farm, it would still be dresses. And I've hardly worn a dress in my life. I mean, I have, but it's not my common wear, clothing. And yet it was definitely, for Mum, it was mainly dresses until she got to being around that 50-ish mark. And Mum then started to wear the pants, the trousers. And it was that she would have someone sew those for her so that they would fit best, because many of us really do have that unique physique that sometimes you've just got to go and get things made for you because of our shape changes and the rest. And I'm pretty sure that was probably when it was Mum going through menopause, but me at the time knew nothing about that. And Janelle, thank you for sharing. Yes, Mum was 5'2". She had a strong work effort. I remember sitting at Grandma's and waiting for Mum to come home. That's wonderful. That's a good description, yes. And and that change, as well as it was the time, I'm sure, that Mum had also started to shrink in height, because she wasn't 5'6.5" all the time. She did gradually get shorter and shorter, not drastically, but I'm pretty sure she was about 5'4" at her 80s, when that was close to when she passed. So describing that diminution of stature from that active farmer's wife, community member, and great with the food and sharing, the lunches at church, luncheons and all the rest, absolutely magnificent. Still cooked beautifully up until about the 75, when she wasn't able to do as much for herself, where our bodies change. So I do remember that loving heart for all the people that she came into contact with, really. So there's that first question we answered. Thank you so much, Janelle, for that. Now the midlife, here we've got a shift and change to something completely different, is how has your relationship with your children changed over the years? Interesting question, isn't it? Because it certainly does change. I can remember, and I can remember as it moved out of that childhood stage for them and into the teenage years, it certainly does change. Here we can describe that as part of what is our story. How did we handle it? That's another part of the question. How was your relationship with your children changed over the years, but how did we handle it as adults? And how do you actually think that your children, as parents, parenting adults here, how did you think that your children were in relationship with you? It's one of those things. I know I was so busy with what I was doing in my life, which was a lot of volunteering through their school years. The Parents and Friends Club and stuff like that, reading to some of the classes as a mum. There was sometimes opportunities to share reading with a class, activities with a class as your kids went through school. And then further along, as they were more into their teen schooling years, those high school years, you weren't as involved in the classroom stuff. So I started doing volunteer work for the ambulance service, and that's when the relationship changed again to a degree, because they knew mum was more into, in a moment I could be called up to go on an emergency drive somewhere. So there wasn't that same level of interaction and reliance on mum. They were growing to be their individual adults, or young people, past those scrabbly teenage adolescent years and moving into what was pre-adulthood. So that relationship certainly changed. And as they were taking on more responsibility, describe it in the best way that you can. Now, you may have a story that is actually something that could be your theme for your memoir, just based on this. How has your relationship changed with children over the years? Like, it could be that you moved through some very stressful times in their teenage years to be able to guide others as a theme for a memoir, something like that. So a very interesting question. Now we can look at the later life and the reflection time. This, I suppose, is what I tend to look at most at the moment, because I am, granny material. I'm a nana. And what have the most difficult things been in my life? What? Oh, let me reread that. So I'm reading the actual words that are there. What have been the most difficult things in your life? Oh my goodness. There can be so many different avenues of describing this one and putting that pen to paper. I'm sure that I could almost fill a book with this one, because even though for myself, I don't feel like I've had very many difficult things in my life, but looking back, and it's why it's called Later Life and Reflections in this particular one, which is near off the table there, reflection. Looking back, you certainly can spend that time, put some time into the deeper thought of, even though I've lived through what was, I had an emergency appendectomy when I was 13. I needed to have teeth out at the bottom row, surgically removed, because I had 3 rows of teeth in my bottom jaw, or the start of 3 rows. There was certainly, after the birth of one of the children, I needed to go back in for some surgery for some things to happen. And so that was probably a difficult time. And then there's other surgeries and discovery of a cancer tumour in the bowel. That was only 10 years ago. So that's probably been a difficult time, but very interesting in what occurred, as far as what some might feel is, very difficult. It's Oh, well, this is happening. Oh, there you go. I had a bag attached after the op, and I needed to learn to live with a stoma for a period of time. And that ostomy bag and things like that. Well, was it difficult? There were difficult moments, but it doesn't define what my life is. We still live as we need to through the experiences we have, don't we? So, was it difficult? Hi, Kim, lovely to have you here. So, delve into what for you that you feel is being difficult. Probably not in the analytical way to start with, probably just in like the brain dump. Write it down like I've just said, those 4 or 5 things that may be difficulties in your life. Just for that starter process of what we're doing here, getting ready to write the life story, to put together what we're wanting to do with a memoir. We have no idea where any of these will go yet. Create that notebook that is putting it together in one place. And then we'll end up taking the steps that help to collate that together, to put it in a sequence that's going to bring your story to life with understanding, so that others can understand it in a more real way. Because it's interesting that when you do try to follow your own, what you've got as your memory and the sequence of how events happen, it is there in your mind, and it's putting it just on paper. It can be linear and put it in the chronological order if you want to, like a bit of a history. But eventually what we're going to do and look at with the way that we put our story together, it may not even look like that mini history. It could be entirely different, but we're beginning that step of putting everything that we've got in here as memories onto that paper so that then we can shuffle it around. Whether it's using things, I haven't got sticky notes here, putting little labels of sticky notes, or using something like a word processor program to rearrange things. That's where I'm going to use Scrivener. There are other tools, but it's bringing it all together so that you can form a story that's really exciting and have someone want to learn more about you and your story. Because it really is interesting to connect with others that have similar stories, or that you discover it might not be similar stories, but it's that thread of perseverance, determination, those sorts of themes that we might be able to put through our stories, weave it in as far as overcoming adversity and really creating a life that you enjoy and want in a business sense. There's so many different ways that we can create our stories to be really interesting for others to read. But it's also leaving that is going to be a legacy as that future path that others might be able to see. And it could even be after you've passed and gone from this world. It could be 50 years away that someone might see your book and pick it up and wonder, wow, here we've got like what is a little history of an era gone past. It's so interesting. We are going to become our history, like this one is saying. In the end, we'll all become stories, and it will be so exciting for you to put it all down and being able to be helped along to create what is your story. I'm so excited for it. So I'd love for you to actually fill in the form and see what ways that I can help you with. The course will be finished being created very shortly, because there are courses that are going to be part of the website. Have a look around, make some suggestions, and what types of things would you like to see in how to be helped along the ways with writing. What is a next step? There are options, and there's so many different ways to be able to put it together as well. So I'd love to be able to help you with that. But first of all, just start, because don't leave it too late until it is too late. Because there is some of those stories from my mum and dad that have been forgotten and not, they're not included in anywhere, and I don't remember them, and they're not here to share it with us. I want to be able to put as much as I can of my own story in to be able to share with my kids and grandkids and anyone else that wants to read it later on. It'll happen. It started. I took the first step. So I'd love to help you take yours as well and continue the journey, really, to get that book finished so that you've got something to hand over to your kids or family members. Even if you don't have kids, you might have an absolutely wonderful story that is worthy. Well, all stories are worthy to be shared. But to be able to bring it out to share with absolutely anyone, anywhere, because that's the type of world we're living in now with the global technology that we have, the ability to do print-on-demand books, all sorts of ways that we can share. So thank you for spending your time with me for this one for Boomer Press. Now, I do have another screen shot here, but I can't seem to figure out how I do it. I think it's like this. It's a good night screen, and I might I'm just going to pop it up and see what it does. Okay, does it? Yes. There it is. But I still don't know how to actually put me over top of those particular layers. I'll learn it and I'll share it, and we'll join together on Sunday is the next one. I'm going to do the Book Nook. That one is at, I think it's 7:30 p.m. my time, so it'll be 7 p.m. Queensland time. That's going to be a little more relaxed with some other readings as such, not the psychic mediumship type. This will be readings from books or snippets to help us along in a different way. Okay, so I'm going to say good night for tonight. We'll see you then. Thank you so much, and certainly do the direct message or fill out the form on the website. I'm a bit chicken to put the link anywhere because of the way Facebook doesn't like you being sent off the site. So, don't know. We'll see how that progresses. It certainly is. Or can I put it in the comments? Let me have a look. I'm going to boomerpress.online. If it reduces the reach as far as what we can do in a group, I don't know what to do. It shows up as 5 Foot Rope. Of course I'm 5 Foot Rope TV while I'm doing these live streams. Thank you for being with me. Thanks, Janelle, and bye for now. And I'll go like this.